Oh man, that'll never be an easy process. It's only going to get tougher, but that being said, it's time to celebrate.
Yes, hey guys, and welcome to Little Black Book. You already know what time it is, baby. You little black book, you know what time it is. Talking to you guys about The Bachelor Season 25, Episode 1, Matt James. We're going to be talking about the actual show now and the process of things. We're talking about some of the girls that also came on the show as well. So if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe. You click on that bell button for notification of uploads. And for those of you who are returning as well, you got the minerals. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. All right, cool. Let's go. So yes, I think the girls were very, very interesting, and I think let's talk about the actual episode as well. So, I mean, we saw a deeply emotionally man who is good looking, tall, strapping, you know, chocolate, you know what I'm saying? Like, the brother got a smile on him, you know what I'm saying? And he's in shape, okay? Listen, the guy is a snack. In fact, Kaylee said it better. So, that being said, you know, I love this prayer to the girls, and I think the reaction by the women to the prayer was outstanding, okay? KO straight away. The ladies were, you know, emotional. They were in their feelings. They were like, oh my god, like he's got a dash of Jesus in him without the Jesus, you know what I mean? Like he's got a dash of that godliness without the godliness, you know what I'm saying? Like he's got a little bit of church in him without the church in him. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Amen.
Amen. Reverend Matt.
What you'll get to know about me is anytime I'm feeling nervous or I'm just constantly shooting up prayers just to put myself at ease, because
he's got the moral code, okay, without having to live the lifestyle. He's a perfect blend, yeah? Handsome, dark skin, chocolate, tall blood, athletic, okay? When they say tall, dark, and handsome, I think that's what they kind of meant, right? So evidently he's got some great attributes, okay?
Here for you. You are the first Black Bachelor, and I think that's so incredible. And, you know, how do you feel about that?
you know, I feel a load of responsibility.
Interesting, because obviously he had a conversation first off with Kristen, the lawyer, and I said already in the first review that I felt like her conversation with him was very vital, because she mentioned the fact that, you know, you're the first Black bachelor. How do you feel about that? And I think that's so important, because had she gone in like I said, buddy buddy, pally pally, we blacky blacky, she would have missed it, because actually that's not how he feely. He's not sure who to choose, because he feels like he's gonna be, you know, getting cussed from both sides. So the fact that she asked him how he felt about that showed that she was concerned about the emotion of him, meaning that she's caring about the deeper depths of him, rather than thinking just about how good looking he is. Don't get it twisted. I think every girl thinks he's good looking there, but let's talk about some real depthy things. You know what I'm saying? Get to know me on another level. And I think when she asked that question, it was really, really good to see, because it shows she had some forethought in thinking, okay, I know that you're the first Black male, but I'm not going to just focus on that. How does that make you feel? Let's talk about some emotions, you know what I'm saying? Let me get you into that place where you get a little bit deep, you know what I mean? So I appreciated that as well. And she did, you know, as a lawyer, she didn't do a lawyer thing. We didn't see, well, we haven't seen it yet, but we didn't see a lawyer behavior where they ask bare questions. So, you know, and they interrogate you. We didn't get to see that. And plus, in her vetoes as well, she looked like a very bubbly, happily girl.
I do love a rooftop bar. I do love a good drink. I do love a good, you know, Cardi B, Meg Thee Stallion song. Like, you gotta let it out sometimes.
So I need them.
Like, her energy was vibrant. Like, I liked it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was the kind of energy that we need up in here in the show. So I appreciated that for her.
But in that, I feel like my experience isn't everyone's experience. I can only go and speak on things that I've experienced,
Right.
and live out my truths.
But his response, which was really, really interesting, I think his response was a hidden shot. You know, I'll be real with you. He said obviously his experience isn't everybody's, and this was in reply to her questions about obviously being the Black Bachelor, first one, and he was like his experience isn't everybody. And I don't know, I felt like maybe he could have been talking to black people when he said that, like, you know what, you know, because his experience will not be that he's choosing black women solely. He's open to all things. That's why his experience is going to be slightly different. I don't know. Maybe that's what I thought he meant. That's my interpretation, but that's because I'm black. So maybe that's why I'm interpreting it. He may not have meant that. He may have meant also the fact that, you know, he's got no affinity to either side. He could have meant that as well. But hey ho.
Yeah, I've always had a guard up.
Yep.
Because I feel like anytime I let that guard down, it's never worked out. You know, because it's scary.
Yeah. And then he had a conversation with Rachel. I really, like I said, I said another thing. I really loved Rachel's conversation with him, and I really felt like their conversation was really powerful because of the way, I don't know what it is. It might be her eyes, her hair, I don't know what it is, blood. Listen, you know me, yeah? You know that black queens first every day. But something about Rachel is a soft blood. Something about Rachel is just soft. You know what I mean? Something about her energy makes me want to say, to leave the one I'm with and start a new relationship with you. You know what I'm saying? It makes me want, you know, it makes me want to just feel chill with her.
She's beautiful, she's articulate, she's sexy, and she's being open and vulnerable. And that's what I've asked these.
Right? And even when she was explaining her side of things and explaining her points and everything like that, it didn't seem like she was being airheaded or like she was talking too much. It seemed like she just gave off the right kind of energy. And when he intercepted and began to speak, there was a little thing that I put out. She was like, yeah. And I feel like
yourself and like,
And they love you.
Yeah, and it's on them to accept it. If not, then you're on to the next thing. You know what I mean?
Rachel, she's beautiful, she's articulate.
Yeah. When you do in that kind of tone, you're getting ready to speak again. So I don't know how much of a great listener she actually is, right? I give it a benefit of the doubt because it's the beginning of the show. But when people go, you know what I'm saying? When they say the way that she ended, it's, I've not finished. Okay? And you know, guys, I love fillers, isn't it? That's a filler. It's just a tone, right? Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? That's the tone. And oftentimes when that it was so sharp, I was like, she hasn't finished yet. It was a connective rather than a finisher. Do you know what I mean? But hey, that could be me, my semantics and my English language going through my head. I don't know. But you know, again, another person who I loved the conversation was Maria.
These last earthquakes, you know, my mom was like, hey, hi. Oh my God.
Do you mind if I sneak in here? Have some time with Matt?
Sure.
Thanks.
Listen, I don't know what the frick's going on. Obviously, before I talk about Maria, Katie coming in the midst of the conversation like that, she's got bad timing. Like, that's all I can say. She's got really, really bad timing. Because for you to tap me with a dildo on my shoulder, for you to touch me with a dildo on the shoulder, like, where's your decorum, number one? Where's your respect, number two? Where's sensibility, number three? Where's your sense, number four? Like, in what world is it cute? In what world is it, like, conducive to bring your vibrator? Listen, I gave the vibrator thing a pass, so I ain't got no beef with it, you understand? But when you bring the vibrator to the conversation, blood, and tap somebody on the shoulder, I just think that's just crud. I just think that's crude. I just think that there's jokes and there's just too far. Like, that's coarse kind of joking. I don't joke like that. Do you know what I mean? For me, I don't. It's coarse joking.
How did your family deal with the hurricanes and?
Yeah, thanks for asking. It's something that's like hard to talk about because it's a constant, like, it's always happening. There's always
When Maria came on, I love Maria's poise. You know, they managed to get into a deep conversation. And this is what I'm saying to you. I love Matt James. He obviously is a good listener. Do you know why? Because he asks really good questions and thoughtful questions. He's an emotionally intelligent guy. Listen, this guy is HVM. I can tell it straight away. Even if he may have to work on some things, he's a HVM. He's a high value male. And I'll tell you why. Because he's not just got his stuff together, but he's emotionally connected. Because the moment she said she's from Puerto Rico, his mind was going to, okay, there's things going on in Puerto Rico. How was your family? You mentioned that your family are there. How was your family dealing? You know, it took him a little while. He was a bit like skeptical, like, to go there. He was a bit scared to go there. But fair play. Man asked the question. He could have avoided it if he wanted to. That shows that emotional intelligence that I'm talking about, that there's a care there. And this is what I'm saying to you. He's going to want a girl that's, if he has gone past the stage of dealing with chicks that are mad, because he's obviously very soft-centered, you know, because when you're more feminine in the energy of a man, you often attract more masculine females. Let's keep it 100% real, yeah? Let's keep it 100% real, because they need to complement, you understand? But if he's got the energy right and he's understood himself correctly, he will try to find a woman that's more feminine, and meaning that, what I mean by that is someone who's more tender, caring-hearted, soft in the heart, like Rachel and your Brees. For now, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how they are fully. Your Kayla's and them's, and you know what I mean. You'll find that kind of person. I like Senna's energy as well, right? So when Maria went into that deep conversation, it was because he asked a great question, and this is not only time he's done it. If you watch him with Bree, he also asked a very good question. She gave a pause, and he asked a very good question.
It's not something that I saw so much growing up as a child.
What do you mean exactly?
Yeah, so my mom's Persian.
Okay.
So she's white passing.
Yeah, to say, oh, you're interracial couple. We'll talk about her situation in a second. But he asked that thoughtful question when there was a time to intercede and ask that question. He's obviously emotionally there. He's obviously thinking. He's obviously aware of how to create good, deep conversations. Right, and that's why Maria was like, was actually having a very deep conversation, and then Katie came in. It was just bad timing from Katie and just really bad taste. But evidently, he's got that in the locker. Do you know how buff that is? You don't know, man. Y'all don't even know, blood. Yeah, for me, I don't like Katie's energy with that dildo thingy. I think it's got to stop. You know what I'm saying? For me, it should have been cancelled. You know, once she did that. Just gonna be real.
Oh.
Yeah, we're on flight 143 to your heart, hopefully.
I like that.
So on the back, it talks a little bit about where I'm from. I'm originally from Puerto Rico.
She left him with a ticket, and I think that was so cool. She left him with something, a memorabilia, yeah, something that was so cool. But the reason why I say it's so cool is because, again, remember the kind of man we're dealing with, Matt James. I said to you in the very first episode, this is a man who's looking for a woman that is tender-hearted. I need to repeat it so you understand what I'm talking about. Yeah, he's going to look for a woman that's tender-hearted like his mama, yeah? So the fact that she left that ticket for him and left a ticket that said a ticket to your heart or whatever, yeah? Beautiful. It's soft, it's kind, it's natured. It's like, I want a ticket to your heart. It's cute, it's fuzzy. It's like it's that warmness. It's that, like I'm saying, you know, that femininity we're talking about. That one there, yeah. And so when she did that, I was like, that's so cute, man. I was like, yeah, man. I was like, yeah, he gonna like that. He gonna like that, yeah.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yes.
I mean, what is more North Carolina than sweet tea?
What's more romantic than this?
Right?
Ooh, thank you.
You're welcome. So,
Kayla did something really, really interesting. She went for the whole, we both from North Carolina, you know what I'm saying? And she wanted to bring a touch of North Carolina into here, which I think was really, really cool. And obviously they had a conversation in the truck that she drove, which was stick shift, which again was really cool as well. She was one of the two people that brought one of the few people that brought in a different car to the place as well. You know, but she sees that she's got some good energy, right? She's got a bit of a playfulness in there, and you know, I saw that obviously when she brought the sweet tea thing again, showing a thoughtfulness there as well. The fact that she, you know, decided to bring the sweet tea like North Carolina people do. I don't know if that's true. I just know that Lee said it. Do you know what I mean? I'm from UK. I don't even know them things. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know if that's the point. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I don't know why I'm having an American accent, but cool in it. So that was really, I like that as well. Like what she went for the relatability, right? I'll call it the Trojan horse. I always call it when you're trying to relate to the person, you know what I'm saying? But it was a really good move from her to pull that off. And it showed, again, like I said, her thoughts.
Excuse me, princess, but the queen is here.
okay.
Queen Victoria, I mean, okay, so there was a conversation between Kit and between Matt James. And what's really interesting is how Queen Victoria actually interrupts the conversation. Like, sis, that is so aggressive. Let me say it again. That is so aggressive. It's unnecessary. Yeah. Kit is talking and it's the massive passive aggressive, I would say, belittling movement from Queen Victoria, as she calls herself, okay, where she enters and says, "Princess, the queen has arrived." Like, don't belittle a chick like that. Like, for me, that would have turned me off. Like, yo, like, you can't even carry that energy. Like, allow it, man. You know what I'm saying? Some people, when they do it, I always say that some people can do certain things and get away with it. Some people do things and you're like, ew, that ain't cute. You know what I'm saying? Like, when she did it, I was like, that ain't cute. right? And she showed her hand later on in the show. And we're going to talk about it as well. But even during the process of the conversation with Matt, I felt like she wasn't really trying to get to depths and grasp of him. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about the water hose situation, blah blah, and she made a joke about I'm the water hose, da da da. But it was the way her little pauses in between and the way that she jumped back into the conversation showed me she's a talker, not a listener. You understand? She's a talker, not a listener. Okay, if you guys know me, when I talk about these people, these are reds, and I would say that even her temperament is very choleric, taking charge. Although she's talking about I have a crying, I want a quang, I want a kang. Listen, I don't sense submission vibes. I sense somebody who's quite assertive, and again, nothing wrong with that, but depending on the level of feminine energy that man will carry, assertive energy will scare a lot of men away because a lot of men carry more masculine energy. I'm just keeping it real for you. 100. You get me? That note is slightly off, but don't watch that.
Drink, like it's impossible to drink out of a fire hose, so it's like,
Yeah.
But
I'm like the best fire hose, so I'll make a good drink for you.
I feel that.
Yeah.
I feel that.
But then she went back into the house, and I don't know if she's been smoking the crack pot or whatever, yeah, or I don't know what she's been on, you understand? But Victoria, we appreciate you because you're kind of cute. I ain't gonna lie to you, you know what I'm saying? You're not my type, but I can see how you cute. All right, so when she went back into the house, yeah, she just showed her hand again. Like, sis, they were just talking about you a second ago, and then you show your hand like this, where she's like, oh, she says to the girl, oh, you know, you should go and see, go and see Matt. Like, don't waste time, blah, blah, blah. Now, I appreciate the fact that you care enough to tell her to go and see Matt, and she should have, because she's now out, right? If she had listened to you, she would have been out. But it's the way you deliver information. And let me tell you something, the way you dealt with these girls are probably how you're going to deal with Matt. The way that you deal with these girls are probably going to be the way that you deal with Matt, more than likely. Okay, so when you went in there and then you're trying to assert yourself to try and command the girl, I want to let you know, commanding is a masculine trait.
Pounds on him.
Literally, just go. Like, literally, why are you waiting? If I say literally again, you have to go. Literally.
Literally.
Go.
Okay, well.
To demand is a masculine trait. When I say masculine, I didn't say male. Listen to what I just said very, very carefully before you go and jump down the street. Masculine. And males obviously hold more masculine energy than females do. But there are times and seasons when you use your masculine energy as a woman, right? Right? I will say this. In a relationship, you want to tone down your masculinity because it involves protection, servitude, and it involves giving. And then the last one actually is sacrifice, right? You want, if you start going into commanding and demanding, okay, of your partner, you're gonna quickly find that your man, if he carries enough masculine energy, will not have it, and it will be a beef. So when she's doing that energy to that girl, it's ugly. It looks what? Bitchy. Right, so that's very important to understand that point. If you then you can understand why it looked really bad, and it's just bad social skills. How can you go into a space and then be trying to command another girl to go and see another girl when you want her to? That's an arrogance, which you've shown again. Okay, that's a pretentiousness. That is a bougie. You know what I'm saying? That is for that. It just can't run. Right? It's not a cute look.
I'm the queen. Can I steal him? And I was like, you could be the queen. I am literally the king, the CEO, like the president.
CFO.
Obviously, King's response in regard to the situation as well. I'm a king. I'm a CFO, and I was like, girl, no, you ain't a king. You could have gone with CFO if you wanted to. You could have gone with CEO, but you ain't a king, sis. Okay, please don't say king. It makes it sound like you another man in a relationship, and he don't need that. Again, remember I talked about this. He's gonna need feminine energy that's gonna make him feel comfortable. He's gonna need that feminine energy to make him feel soft. He's gonna need that feminine energy to make him feel at home and at ease. Don't bring that masculine energy around here. Okay, don't bring it around here. All right, cool. This show is basically Approach a Man personified. If Approach a Man was a show, this is it.
I want to see Matt, but like they haven't seen him yet. Yeah. Are you gonna try to steal him again then? What would you do? I don't know. Obviously talk to him again, right?
My girl was taking the bull by the horns and said, listen, it's not going to be me that's going to be without a date. She said, I'm going to go twice. I respect the hustle and I respect the balls, okay? She didn't need to, though. She already made a great impression, but now she's going to, the way that she's going to be perceived is like, yo, I appreciate the fact that you're hungry for my attention and stuff, but it's going to look a little bit mud. It's gonna look a little bit like you too much, and you may come off clingy. You may come off as too assertive. You may come off as somebody who wants too much, too soon, too intense. You may come off like that. She's just done once and be gone, right?
See diverse love stories because it's not something that I saw so much growing up as a child.
What do you mean exactly?
Yeah, so my mom's Persian.
And so obviously then he spoke to Bree. I think the Bree conversation, listen, let me tell you something. I ain't gonna lie. I think it was a setting. I think it was a shot type. I think it was a camera. I think it was a coloring of the shot. My gosh, listen, when they started talking, I was looking at Bree and I was like, Bree, will you love me? Will you love me, Bree? Come and love me. I don't know what it was. Like, her eyes were just like, I'm looking at her eyes. And obviously Matt's an eye person because he's looking at Amber. But I was just looking at eyes. I was like, her eye and her face is inviting, yo. Let me keep it real. Some of you are so buff. You look in them and you're just like, whoa. Me want looky. Okay, that accent's off, but don't watch that. It's like you want to look deep into the soul of the person. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what it was. It might have been a setting, but everything about that shot was composed in a way that made me want to, look at her deeply as well. But I love the fact that she has some depth to her and had a conversation about her past and the diversity of her upbringing, being in an interracial home, and speaking about the separation of her parents. That was a vulnerability that he was looking for. Again, it shows that she's willing to be open and sharing and transparent with you. Even I wouldn't even say transparent, honest, because that information was volunteered freely. Right, and that's really essential. When he was dealing with Bree, I really felt like she shared a truthfulness of herself. She was honest, not just transparent. She volunteered that information freely, and again, that will increase trust with the individual person. Because one of the ways to build trust is to be honest with the person, right? Even if it's inconvenient, when you share it, the person can build trust towards you, right? Because they know that when it comes down to it, you will willingly give that information, irrespective of how you feel. You give it, so to build trust, sometimes honesty is a great tool to do that, and I think she used that quite well, as well as that. Like I said, she's a good looking gal, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the dress she wore, just elegant, just sweet, something nice, I mean, I can't budge her for that. And she spoke about the fact that her mum also was white passing.
Exactly.
Yeah, so my mom's Persian.
Okay.
So she's white passing, and my dad was black, and they were separated before
and so I guess that would also talk to him as well, because obviously, like I said, him coming from a home where it's interracial, again, that's a big thing when it comes to his lifestyle. So she can identify and understand maybe some of the struggles that he's going through, and that's fair enough. Again, remember, you're looking for relatability, because sometimes when you're going through things, someone else can understand your mindset. It's beautiful to have somebody who can understand what you're going through and the struggles that you face as well. In the midst of the conversation, as they were talking, when she was like, oh, I understand, about it's good to see the diversity of love on this show, and she paused. This is very intentional. It's just good social skills, and I don't know if she actually did it on purpose, or when I mean like that, but she consciously did it, or something that she's just been trained to do. He picked up on that cue, and it's not always that people pick up on the cue. Let me be honest with you, some people don't know the cue. Some people do not know the cue, okay? But he picked up on the cue and said, oh, what do you mean by that?
It's because it's not something that I saw so much growing up as a child.
What do you mean exactly?
Yeah, so my mom's Persian.
Okay.
So she's...
Right? Again, that he showed that interest in there as well. So that was really good as well to see that, he had that skill and ability.
So obviously I was super nervous coming out of the limo.
See, the girl in the blue dress, right? I'm still confused as to the kiss. I wasn't sure what the hell happened there. Not gonna lie to you, but she was so nervous. Okay, we could see her shaking literally, and I wonder if his protector instincts kicked in as she was shaking, seeing her so vulnerable because she was shaking and nervous, seeing that there was almost a helplessness there, whether that activated the protector in him to want to able to protect, yeah? And that drew an attraction from him, right? Almost like the bunny and the lion, yeah? I don't know why I said the bunny and lion, but yeah, it is what it is. You know, like sometimes men can be attracted to protection when they are protecting. When something looks so innocent, it's almost like I think I said before. Puss in Boots on Shrek does it so well. They elicit the protective vibe by showing you the big eyes and the cute, face and everything like that. Babies do it as well. They have a cute face and the eyes, and it makes you want to go, "Aww." Protect him, right? And I wonder if with her shaking and her vulnerability and the fact that she was deaf as well and everything like that, that contributed towards his protective energy wanting to emanate from him to her. That side obviously thinks that she's very attractive, and she is very attractive as well. I think it's Abigail, isn't it, her name, innit? And I was saying Amber. I think it's Abigail. It's kind of mad. But yeah, so that's a big thing. I think, and then the kiss was not just a normal kiss, man lips the thing, man lips the thing, cuz, yeah, I was a bit surprised, you know what I'm saying, I was a bit surprised, you know what I mean, so, but, at the end of the day, he felt comfortable with her, and he felt like she was the best first impression, so, what can we say? I'm sure as the show goes on, we'll get to know why and the reasons why he did that, and what kind of girls he really, really likes, and we'll see more of his preferences. But guys, I hope you liked our little review. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button for notifications of uploads. Let us know your thoughts down below as well. What did you guys think of the particular episode, or what did you guys think of Matt James as well? Appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded, and don't forget as well, join our Patreon at Little Black Book 91 if you want to continue to support us as well. And we have a monthly call as well this month, so get ready. We appreciate you. Stay locked and stay loaded.